Wanted to thank all of you for coming to the 2024 ACHE-SETC internship panel. So my name is Roger Packard. I'll be the moderator this evening, and we're joined with Ms. Sonia, Sophia, and Ingrid. Just some quick introductions with myself. I was a summer intern at a Tampa General Hospital just this past summer, where I got to work on various process improvement initiatives as well as high reliability. And I'm currently finishing up my last semester at University of Houston at Clear Lake with my master's in healthcare admin and business admin. So I'll turn it off. Ms. Sonia, do you mind introducing yourself, and we'll just kind of go from there.
Yeah, sure. Hi, my name is Sonia Patirajamudali, and I am currently a second-year Master of Health Administration student at the University of North Texas Health Science Center. And I went to medical school in Bangladesh and was a practicing physician in Sri Lanka for over 5 years. I did my graduate administrative internship at Baylor Scott and White Medical Center in Irving. And I worked with the COO of the hospital, so I had a really good look at the overall operations in the hospital.
All right, thank you. Next up, Ms. Ingrid, do you mind introducing yourself?
Yes, of course. Thanks. Hi. So my name is Ingrid Quevedo. I'm currently a graduate student at the University of Houston at Clear Lake. I am completing my master's in healthcare administration. So primarily my background is in public health. I have a public health bachelor's of science in public health and epidemiology, and now I'm pivoting towards healthcare administration.
Awesome, thank you. And then last but certainly not least, we have Ms. Sonia with us.
Hi, y'all. My name is Sophia Lafir. I am a current graduate student at the University of Houston Bauer College of Business, pursuing my master's in management and leadership with a certificate in healthcare leadership, graduating this December. Super excited. But I am currently, go Cougs, but I'm currently doing an internship at the Harris Center for Mental Health IDD. It's an administrative practicum internship. It's been going since the summer and it's wrapping up in December. It's been super cool and I'm super excited to share it with y'all.
All right, so these are our three panelists with us. So let's just kind of dive in. So this is a question for everyone. From a high level, can you share your internship experience from your organization?
Yeah, I can start off. So for me, I think it was a great opportunity just to be able to work in a diverse team and also experience different types of leaderships, because I got to work with the entire the senior leadership team, which comprised of the president, the COO, the CMO, the CNO, and the CFO. So each leader had different leadership styles, which was really interesting and which helped me learn and kind of try to build my own style of leadership as well. And they all had adaptable leadership styles, so they did approach each situation accordingly. It was also a really good opportunity to, kind of have hands-on experience and use the classroom skills in the real world. And it was a really good opportunity to network, because I got to meet so many different leaders, team members from different departments. And this was a really great opportunity to build my network.
Excellent, that's good to hear.
So
Sophia, Ingrid, do you have anything to add? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'll go next. So I'll go ahead and apologize if you hear some barking. My dogs are mad that they're in my room. Okay, so my internship experience at the Baylor College of Medicine, Department of Surgery, was absolutely phenomenal. So I'm really grateful that I was paired with a division administrator that is a alumni from UHCL, and who's really big on quality improvement, which is like what I generally want to get into. So it was really great to see his processes, what he focuses on. Also, he's very collaborative in Baylor. So he works with not just his department, which is bariatrics and weight management and plastic surgery, but he also helps like endocrine surgery. He helps the Department of Marketing. So I expanded my network that way, but I also saw how each department did their operations.
Excellent. Ms. Stern, anything?
So I think my situation is kind of a little out of the norm. So when I was accepted into the internship, I had just started working at the College of Medicine as a project coordinator. And actually, I just accepted an offer for program manager today, which is super exciting. But that also means, so I work full time at the College of Medicine. I can't necessarily leave. So when I accepted my internship, I let her know and I said, hey, I'm not sure I can accept because I'm not going to be able to be there. And thankfully, she let me know that I could do my internship online. So that's how I've been doing everything. She's accommodated me. It's been super nice. But I definitely don't have the in-person experience you guys have. So mine is different in that way. I hope I can maybe provide a different experience for you guys to learn and know that this is an option. But yeah, I'm really excited.
Well, it's great to hear. I do want to apologize, Sophia. I think I've been saying Sonia for the past few times.
No worries, no
So
worries.
Sonia's name is right above your head, so that's what I keep saying. So I do apologize for that.
Oh, good.
Um, but yeah, those are all excellent experiences to hear and get to know more of. So I do have a few questions just for Sonia or Sophia, sorry, and Ingrid. Um, can you describe a typical day in your role as an intern?
So like I said, mine's different because it's all online, right? So I am working directly under the director of project management and the supervisor, or so my supervisor is the director of talent management. Um, and so I'm working on online projects. So I'm currently working on an innovation program, which the proposal was just accepted. That's super exciting. But it's a 50-page proposal. Actually, Jacina is in the gallery here. Her and I were partners on this project. It was super cool. But I mean, it's a lot of balancing because I work full time, but also this internship is full time as well. So it's kind of just when I can find the time to do both. But that proposal was accepted, so that's going. I'm working on a SharePoint site for creating from scratch a talent development hub for the entire organization. So that's super cool. So just kind of getting to see it from kind of like a back end online point of view, less so in person, but that doesn't mean I'm learning any less. I'm learning so much about project management and talent management and development and how that works. So it's super cool in its own way.
Okay, so my internship was full-time. So I had to let go of my permanent job to do the internship. But basically, no 2 days were exactly the same. While there were a few consistencies and like morning routines, like checking emails, prioritizing my daily tasks, and the rest of my schedule was often shaped by the needs of the department and the team. So for example, during, let's say, 2 times a week, each clinic had morning huddles. We would gather there and then discuss ongoing projects, performance reviews, address immediate concerns or ongoing concerns. Then my preceptor and I would debrief the topics that were discussed, and we would strategize what exactly is needed, right? Now, besides the days that we had meetings, I would go ahead and dedicate my time to the various ongoing projects I had. Also, I will say that new assignments and projects were given to me. So I had to pivot a lot and kind of prioritize, okay, so this one has a deadline sooner than this one. This one takes a little bit more time. So I'll leave that one to the end of the day and whatnot. But it was very much like, it was every day was something different. But I worked on a lot of different tasks, and it was very, very insightful.
Well, very cool. Just thinking about my own internship experience over the summer was our preceptor kind of gave us free rein to just start asking around and get to know everyone. I was in the physicians group there and just to network as much as possible. And then we would dedicate just time during the day also to work on our projects. But it's just interesting to hear just how varied it can be. So let's move on to the next question here. So this one will be for you, Ingrid, and I'll also chime in as well. Can you share a key project or task you worked on during your internship that significantly contributed to your organization's goals?
Yes, okay. So specifically in the Department of Surgery, I was assigned to the Division of Plastic Surgery and Bariatrics and Weight Management clinics. All right, so these sectors of healthcare see significant challenges when it comes to insurance approval. So, let's say a patient, is really deep in the pipeline, getting ready to get the procedure, and then something changes in their insurance policy that they're no longer eligible, right? So, they can no longer get their appointment or their procedure done, it's canceled. So basically, the situation disrupts, patient care, and it also impacts the division's workflow and the resource allocation, right? So in order to address this problem, I was tasked with developing some kind of like dynamic dashboard. So basically, the dashboard tracks patient accounts and insurance verification statuses. I had to update it daily, and basically it allowed me to flag pending or unauthorized statuses in advance. It enabled me to, what's the word that I want to say? Escalate, a pending status or an unauthorized status to investigate like what's going on, what changed, and basically it helps significantly reduce last minute cancellations.
Very cool. Very interesting to know about. One of the things that's just at least in my internship that we really Tampa General in specific was working on was high reliability leadership rounding, which is essentially Gemba walks with different high reliability aspects sprinkled in. And one of the things that they were working on was just developing an outline to get that started, get the ball rolling. And so I was tasked with developing that outline as well as just kind of questions for frontline staff, clinicians, as well as the clinical managers, as the senior leaders would do rounding just in the different clinics. So it was really interesting just to be able to interview various people, clinicians, frontline staff, get feedback on what questions are helpful to them and what less so. And so by the end of my internship experience, that was something that I was able to help do was build that framework so that they could continue just rolling out that program and process. But appreciate your answer with that. Let's continue on here. Let's see, Miss Sonia, I have a question for you. What was the most rewarding aspect of your internship, and how did it align with your personal or professional goals?
Yeah. So for me, I think it was how collaborative it was at Baylor, and just witnessing the teamwork and the diversity and the diverse perspectives brought to the table was really interesting because during the brainstorming sessions, everyone was able to contribute in a very meaningful way because of all these diverse perspectives. So that was really interesting. And also, I think something I really value is building meaningful relationships. And I was able to do that with my colleagues, my mentors, the employees. And that was something that I think really helped me throughout, and I still keep in touch with them. I still keep in touch with my mentors, and anytime I need to ask questions about anything, they're always willing to help, even with their busy schedules. So building those relationships is very important in in our career, and especially in healthcare, because I think healthcare is teamwork. So without the team, you really can't produce good service deliveries. So for patient-centered care, you need the team. So I felt that at Baylor, this teamwork really helped to deliver excellent patient care. So I think very rewarding for me to see, and also to see how it impacted the patients and their families. And for me, I just hope I can carry that on in my career and in the future.
Oh, that's great. Excellent to hear. Um, Ingrid or Sophia, I'll open it up to you as well if you have any additional experiences to share just regarding that as well.
I would definitely also touch on the mentor aspect she mentioned. I think the mentorship I've received from my preceptor and my supervisor has been so extremely rewarding. I've learned so much from them. I continue to learn so much from them. I mean, you think you know what you're doing, or you have an idea of how you think things should go, but their guidance is invaluable, and it's truly made the difference. I talk to them every single day. Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely great. So it's really different, just reading about how healthcare operation works rather than experiencing firsthand. So that was very rewarding, is being partnered with, an alumni from my same program and seeing how he's basically being a rock star in administration.
Absolutely. Just building those networks and yeah, getting those mentors is huge. I think me personally as well, like I've built those relationships with those people in my past internship, and I still chat with them as well. They give me pointers and help me out for my next steps as well. That's excellent to hear. Moving on to the next question. This is for both Sonia and Sophia. What were some of the biggest challenges you faced during your internship, and how did you overcome them?
So for me, one of the biggest challenges was when I was sitting in on high-level meetings. It just felt like there was a lot of information that I had to grasp really quickly. And also the fact that I was new to most of these topics was a bit challenging. So I had to be on top of it, and ask questions. So I think asking questions was one of the best ways to overcome that. And everyone, like the mentors, the leaders, everyone, they're really willing to take a pause and talk to you and teach you about what's going on. Even if they were not able to do it during the meeting, they would talk to you after the meeting and then update you on that and just ask you if you understand. So that was one of the biggest challenges for me. And so apart from asking questions, I did read up after after hours. Like I would just come home and just review and just read on them just to try and understand. So that was the way I got over the challenges.
I think it's definitely taught me to be very deliberate and intentional with my communication. Also, kind of getting over that fear of looking stupid. I mean, you're an intern, you're not going to know everything, you don't know everything. The whole point of the experience is that you learn, but a part of learning is that you have to put yourself out there. You have to ask the questions that you think maybe, oh, it's unspoken, I'll understand it. But sometimes you need to ask those questions, and it's getting over that fear and having that open-mindedness and just being a sponge, I think, is super, super key.
Absolutely. And just to add on to that, one of my mentors had mentioned to me before going into my internship was to play the internship card. That everyone knows you're an intern, that you're not going to know everything, and so you can fall back on that excuse like, "Look, I'm just the intern. I don't know. Could you explain it to me?" And 9 times out of 10, people were happy to explain to me and share with me more information. So that is, yeah, definitely good information to have going forward. All right, so next question. This is for Sophia and Ingrid. How did your internship help you develop critical skills needed in healthcare administration? Which skills do you think were the most valuable?
So my internship, because of the various projects that I was working on, was very heavy on reporting, very heavy on Excel. So the data analysis capabilities of healthcare administration, I feel like I enhanced those skills a lot during my internship. Also being present in a lot of, high stake meetings with the department chair and other division administrators helped me develop or enhance my communication and collaboration skills. So, we had a lot of meetings with marketing because of another project that I was in charge of. So, challenging myself to speak very eloquently and very, what's the word? Precise, so they know exactly what I mean. Yeah, this internship helped me a lot with that.
I can kind of fall back on what I just said too about like intentionality in your communication. I'm going to mention Jacina again because her and I were conjoined at the hip for this project. We spoke all day, every day, and that was necessary. I mean, for a 50-page proposal for something that's never been done, you need to be on the same page. You need to be of the same mind. And that takes a lot of communication. And I think teamwork is so, so, so key, and being open-minded in that aspect, and understanding that other people have incredible insights that you would never even be able to think of. And being open to that, I think, is super, super key. And I'm so thankful for that experience. I'm probably going to mention her a couple more times too. I love Jacina, but I am so thankful that I had amazing partners. But yeah, just when you don't understand things yourself, know that the people around you may feel the same, but they also have the insights that you might not have.
Absolutely. Yeah, just kind of other people having a little bit more context than each and every one of us and their willingness to share that. Oh, that's really great. I like that. All right, so I have a question for you, Ingrid, again. What aspects of the internship program did you find particularly beneficial for your personal and professional development?
So the most beneficial aspect of my internship was the opportunity to gain hands-on experience in a real life healthcare environment. Also working closely with experienced professionals, allowed me to understand the complexities of how operations and a decision-making process is. Also, working closely and being around all these various levels of leadership helped expand my professional network.
Absolutely. I feel like, at least just in classes and everything, understanding the theoretical behind everything is great, but once you actually get your hands in it and have that practical experience, that's when it all kind of comes together. That's something that I definitely was able to experience and appreciate as well. Let's see. I've got another question for you, Miss Sonia. How have the opportunity to observe or participate in leadership or decision-making processes, and what did you learn from those processes?
Sorry. Yeah, so I had a lot of opportunities to participate in the leadership in decision-making processes, leadership meetings. So uh, in so there were different levels of these meetings. So in most of the meetings, I would say that again, coming together as a team and being collaborative when making these decisions was very important because, like I said earlier, the diverse perspectives really helped in the strategic implementations in the organization, which helped the patient care and overall operational efficiency. So I saw this in a lot of high-level meetings and also just daily meetings with different departments. So I think what I learned at the end of the day was the value of a team in a healthcare organization, and also being able to be flexible as a leader was also important, because in certain projects you had to adjust accordingly. So you just had to adjust the deadlines sometimes, because sometimes things don't go as planned. So as a leader, I saw how they were really flexible, and this really taught me that flexibility is very important to carry out operations in a healthcare facility. So again, collaboration and flexibility were very important in these leadership meetings.
Oh, that's great. Especially that flexibility when you're working on projects and you have a key stakeholder that you need to meet with, and you find out they're out for the week on vacation. You have to be a little flexible with your own moving forward in your project. So I can definitely appreciate that. I'll open that up to both you, Sophia and Ingrid, if you have any further comments on that. All good? All right. So I'll have this question for both Sonia and Sophia. For students who are about to start their internships, what tips or strategies would you recommend for making the most out of the opportunity?
I feel like what I'm going to say is maybe cliche, but I think it's cliche for a reason. Network as much as humanly possible. If you see an event that you are even slightly interested, I say go. I think you're going to learn more than you are sitting on the couch. I think I'm also in a unique position. So my master's is online. If I don't get up and go out, I'm not going to meet people. So I can even give you like the train of how I even came to ACHE. I went to a healthcare sector career trends talk at my school. I found out there that healthcare administration is even a thing. Found out that because I always had an interest in healthcare, but I kind of gave it up. And then I got into business, and then I said, that's incredible. I can marry the two. Found that. Then I became the VP of Professional Outreach for the Bauer MBA Society Healthcare Club. And through that, I found ACHE. And then through ACHE, I found Bianca, who is now my supervisor at the Harris Center. But none of this would have happened if I didn't go out and network and talk to these people. And actually, in a moment, I'm going to drop a file in the chat. So I'm the secretary of the mentorship committee for ACHE as well. And I want to say it is an invaluable experience to have a mentor that can guide you. And ACHE offers that. And I want you guys to know that, because it is a resource for y'all. So I'm going to drop that in a moment, but it's cliche, but it's there. And I think the fact that you guys are here in the first place, you're on the right track, and that's super fantastic. But keep going. I mean, any chance you get out there, chat it up.
I really love that answer. That is so true. And to add to that, I think setting clear goals would also be very important, just to figure out what you want to learn from your internship, whether it's operations, whether when it comes to networking, also just figure out if you want to broaden your network and then work on that. And also, I would say be proactive, ask questions, take all the opportunities you can, because during your internship, you will be given opportunities to join seminars, workshops, and learn from these. And always ask your preceptor if you can join a meeting, even if it's a no, it's fine, you asked, right? So if you get the chance, that's great. So just be proactive. And also build relationships, because these relationships will take you a long way. And even like for me to even get my the internship position at Baylor, I think me working there prior to that, in the admissions, the patient admissions area helped me because I had already built relationships with the manager, and then my preceptor, the COO of the hospital, had a conversation with the manager, and then they had good things to say. So she was like, okay, she can come join us. And so these relationships are really important in your career. So build these relationships and always get feedback from your preceptor, because they are good at just analyzing and giving you great feedback, not only professionally, even personally, because my preceptor, she would give me just advice on personal stuff and also professional stuff. So I think just get the feedback as much as possible, and stay curious. Just stay curious, because that's very important. So.
And both of those are fantastic answers. I don't really have anything particular to add to that. 100% support everything that the two of you said. And just to reemphasize, networking and building relationships is fundamental. It is so key. And ACHE is fantastic to just get a start, leg up in that regard, just with all the networking opportunities that you have available. This is the last question. I'll open it up to the three of you. What would you say are your biggest takeaways from your internship experiences?
Sorry, I can go ahead. Biggest takeaways. I think what Sonia said about being curious is so important. I think you go every single day. I mean, obviously, every day I start with an idea of how I think my day is going to go, and it never ends up looking like that. But I think not being totally married to this is the way it's going to go. I don't know if you're a type A person, I am, but just being adaptable, flexible, things change, but being curious about that, not being, oh, I wanted it to go this way, it's not going this way. And more times than not, the different ways that it goes, you end up learning more. So being curious, I'm going to echo that. I think is so fantastic.
Yeah, I'll actually add on to that. So also, like, for example, for me, the financial aspect of business is not my strongest suit, right? But my preceptor, he's really big on that. So he was like, he would ask me, would you be open to looking at these financial documents with me? And I'm like, sure, please teach me. Let's start from how do you develop this? What does this mean? What does that mean? It's basically like being curious and being like not being scared of those topics that you are not really good at. It's like, you're an intern, you're there to learn. If you don't know something, someone does want to help you. That's one of my big takeaways.
So I think I really kind of figured out how important collaboration is. I have been going on about collaboration, but it is really important. So the importance of collaboration is something that I really took away from the internship, and also being adaptable, and also I think having effective communication and just communicating well with your team members is also very important, because at the end of the day, you need to share your ideas effectively when it is a team environment. So those would be my most important takeaways.
Really good takeaways too. I see we got a question here in the chat. So I'll just open it up to the three of you. What are some tips for building meaningful relationships?
I can take that. I think listening is very important when building meaningful relationships, because you want to communicate well, and to communicate well, you have to first be able to listen to the other person, and just approaching all your relationships with empathy, because emotional intelligence is something that is given a lot of importance in healthcare settings. Actually, during my internship at Baylor, we had a workshop on emotional intelligence for the leaders of each department. And so approaching all these relationships with empathy and compassion is also a great way to build relationships.
To add on, actually, for building meaningful relationships, I think you should approach every single interaction from a genuine standpoint. You want to learn about this person, you want to get to know them, you want to learn from them. I think people can sense from a mile away if you're coming up because you want a LinkedIn check mark. It's people can feel if you want to talk to them because you want to use them for the connection, or you actually are interested and have a passion for what you're doing and you want to hear about their passions. So I think being genuine about it is super, super important. Yeah, that's pretty much what I wanted to say.
I guess just to tack on, just from my own experience, I find helping build those meaningful relationships is finding a common ground or common interest. One of the first mentors that I found just from ACHE networking was I have a background in physical therapy, and one of my first mentors that I found, she just so happened to have a background in occupational therapy. And so we hit it off in that regard, just talking about therapy, and then just kind of built that relationship from there. So at least for me, that's something that I look for to do when I'm trying to build a relationship with a potential mentor, is just kind of find what we have in common and going from there. Let's see, we've got a few more questions in here. So this one's from Mark. How and where do you find internship opportunities?
So I found my internship opportunity on LinkedIn. I follow Baylor College of Medicine and the other big healthcare organizations. And, right when summer is going to begin, like let's say April, May, it's when those flyers come out. That's how I found mine.
So mine was through one of my professors, because Baylor Scott and White Irving didn't have an internship at the time I was looking. So my professor, her husband was working at Baylor, so she was like, "Yeah, send me your resume, and I'll see if I can help you out." So she passed it on to the COO, and then that's when the COO knew I worked a couple of months prior to starting my MHA at Baylor. So then that's how I got my opportunity. So again, it boils down to building these relationships, because I had a great relationship even with my professor. I guess again, building relationships and networking really helps with finding a great internship opportunity.
I'll be honest, I can't remember how I found my internship. I literally might have Googled internships. But I think what set me apart in that was actually Mark was at this event. I'm totally forgetting what event it was. It was an ACHE event, but that was where I met who was doing the interviews for my internship, and we got to talking. And I told her, she literally did spark my interest in this internship, or just kind of pursuing this in general. And I just spoke with her and I built that connection, and I think it helped. So get out there.
Those are all great. Google, LinkedIn, those relationships, they're all great ways to find internships. This question is from Ms. Vivian. As a student currently seeking internships, what key strategies did you find most helpful in transitioning from an intern to full-time position, or vice versa? I'll just open it up to the three of you as well.
I'm not sure I'd be too helpful. I'm doing both simultaneously. So I'm in a weird limbo. I'm not so much transitioning, so I'm not sure I'm the best person to answer the question.
Yeah, I don't think I'm the best person either because my internship was just a 10-week internship and because my MHA is a full-time in-person program. So I mean we can continue if we would like to, but then the hours would have to be shorter. But I didn't continue my internship because my MHA program is really demanding this semester along with fellowship applications and stuff, so I chose not to continue.
I think just to add on from my own experience is going back to those building relationships that we've commented on, that as an intern going into full-time work, or vice versa, that you develop those relationships with key people in those organizations that as an intern, they're either going to see your work ethic and you'll mesh well with their culture and everything, and that will be something that they'll want to keep you on board, or vice versa as well, that they'll be able to see and experience how you do the work, and that will be just a huge boon for them and for you, as you're moving on in your career. This is from Moon. What do you think that set you apart from other internship applicants?
Actually, when we met later and I got my acceptance, she let me know, honestly, she said it was your passion. I could feel it and it set you apart. And I think, like I said before, you're here, you clearly you have a direction you want to go. That drive stands out and that passion matters. And as long as that conveys in your interview, which I'm sure it will, I think that authenticity really does set you apart.
I'll add on to that. So yeah, during my the call that my preceptor gave me before or to tell me that I got the internship, he basically said that, you know, he thinks I'm the right person, that I have that drive to learn from the internship and that he's very excited to work with me. So basically, yeah, the having the passion and making it very apparent in your letter of your cover letter and during your interview.
Well, they're both really good. I think the only thing I would add to that is doing your research beforehand too. Just wherever you're applying to, if you're just super generic with your answers, with what you want to do, they're probably going to be able to see that. Whereas if you're doing your research and you say, this is why I want to be an intern at this organization, and list out key things that the organization is doing, that is something that'll stick out and they'll notice, and want to talk to you more about. That's what I've experienced anyway, just with my own applications and interviews. Let's see. So we've got a question here for Sophia. I also work full time for a university and worry about how I'll be able to fit in an internship and how that will work with my hectic schedule. Knowing that some internships may offer a hybrid online opportunity is encouraging. However, I think I'll miss out on many important interactions and opportunities by doing the internship online. What aspects do you think would have been beneficial by being on site?
I'll let you know now. I also did not know hybrid opportunities were a thing before this. I mean, I literally was about to tell her, no, I can't do it. Thank you for the offer. And then she said, people have done it before. It's a possibility. And so it's definitely hectic. It's a lot, but I mean, you can do it. Anybody can do it. When she told me that it's been done, I was like, you know what? If someone else did it, I can do it. But I mean, so like I said, I'm not there. I'm not building as many connections as obviously I would like to. So that is a way that I think it's a con for sure. But at the end of the day, you still have an opportunity to build those connections in a different way. I mean, I'm learning so much from my preceptor, my supervisors, my partners, everyone that I work with in my projects and other departments, because a lot of my projects have to do with other departments and learning their wants and their needs and satisfying those. So I'm still building those connections, but I will say they're not as strong as they would be in person. So that is a con. But you're building that experience in a different facet, and that's just as valuable too.
That's a great answer. Thank you. This was from Avia. Did you obtain a part-time job or did your internship offer any type of compensation? I'll open this up to everyone.
Some internships do come with pay, but that's very rare. Majority of them are non-paid. So at the beginning of my internship, I was sort of doing both, working full-time and full-time at my internship, basically using my PTO to cover my time at Baylor. Then when my PTO ran out, I was like, all right, bye. So, because I wanted to stay at Baylor and really take full advantage of, that opportunity. But yeah, if you're lucky, you can find one that's paid, but generally they're all unpaid.
Yeah, my internship is also unpaid and I have bills to pay. So yeah, I'm keeping my full-time job. But yeah, so definitely pursue a hybrid if you can. I think it's very, very valuable.
Mine is also unpaid.
Wow, we need to find more paid internships then. They need to start posting more. Hopefully we're moving in that direction. So this is from Kelsey. How early did you search and apply for internships?
I think I submitted all of my paperwork, cover letter, CV, like end of March, early April. I know mid-April, I was already doing the interviews.
My process was kind of long. I actually thought I didn't get the internship, which is why I accepted my full-time job. I was like, it's in the past, I'm moving on. And then they responded like maybe a month or two later. It was, yeah, definitely longer than I expected. So I'm not sure what the standard is, to be very honest.
So I sent out my resume in the end of December for Baylor. Like I said, that was through my professor. But our university, we had internal matches. So I did submit my applications for those in March, because even though I sent out my resume for Baylor, I didn't know what was going to happen, because they had to create an internship for me because they didn't have an internship before. But I really wanted to work at Baylor because I was there before and I really loved the whole culture there. So I just wanted to learn healthcare administration at Baylor. I applied in March, and then I did get interviews for a couple of facilities, but then I pulled out of the internal match because I got called from Baylor and they said that I got the internship. So I pulled out from the internal match.
Mine was, I think it was about the same, Sonia, that I started applying probably December or so, and then at least for my Tampa internship over the summer, that I had my first round interview in January or so, and then second round was in February. And then shortly after is when they made me the offer, was I think sometime in late February or so, or early March. Let's see, this one's from Marissa. What aspects or key items did you look for when researching internship opportunities?
What was available, to be very honest with you.
Yeah, what was available in administration operations, or yeah.
Yeah, I would say what was available too, because I don't think we were able to be too picky with it, because the time frame was also pretty short and everyone was stressed out at the time. So I think anything that was available, I was gonna take.
And I'll forth that as well, that just whatever comes and look, see if it's interesting and start applying. Let's see. Yeah, also, Mark is also saying the ACHE SCTC also offers internships throughout the year and they run hybrid as well. So just something for everyone in on this call. So Moon has another one here. Why do you want to pursue a career in healthcare admin? This is for all of us.
So my background in health, in public health, I saw a lot of health disparities, firsthand working with, the clients. Also in my personal life, my family is Latin American. So they have, maybe it's the language barrier, I'm not sure, but they have some mistrust in the healthcare system in the US. So I guess what drives me is to help mitigate that. Like what can I do? What can I change to make my mom go see the doctor, in a preventative sense, rather than when she feels ill. So that's my drive.
Actually, what Ingrid said is so true. So I kind of also have this innate mistrust of healthcare, and I think is also a drive of why I want to be involved. I want to actually change things. I mean, there are so many things that can be changed, and you can be the person that brings about that change. You just have to position yourself and get in there. And I think I kind of touched on it earlier, but I always wanted to be in healthcare. And I think once I graduated my undergrad, I had a degree in exercise science and nutrition. And I kind of figured all I can really go here is physical therapy or personal trainer. And I think the the glass ceiling was a little bit too low for me. So that's why I pursued my master's in management and leadership. So I thought I would have to just business for the rest of my life, which is not where my passion is. Which is why I said when I found that you could combine healthcare and business, I thought that was like riveting. And that's, I think, how it all started. So
For me, with my clinical background, because I was a physician before, I just feel like I can make a broader impact overall, just kind of bridging the gap between the clinical teams and the administrative teams. And also, since I did practice in Sri Lanka and I went to medical school in Bangladesh, I kind of bring an international and global perspective to it too. So I feel like all of that together would be really beneficial in kind of creating the change that is needed, because healthcare really is broken. So there is a lot that we as administrators can do. And so I just want to contribute the best way possible.
Those are all great answers. Just to echo what everyone's already kind of said, I mentioned I have a background in physical therapy, and so that's also something that I kind of saw just in my treatment with patients was seeing a lot of these decisions coming down the line and how it impacted patients. And that was something that I wanted to be a part of. Having that clinical background and remembering how this will ultimately impact patients was something that I wanted to help influence that kind of decision-making process. So that was my pursuit. That was my reason for pursuing healthcare admin. Those are all great answers. Thank you. This is from Chandrama. Would you recommend not taking classes during the duration of the internship, or is it manageable to take classes? How was it like for all of you during the duration of your internship, and how did you manage your time?
So, oh, you go for it.
oh, well, okay, so I do full time, I do the internship, and I'm in school. It's time management. You need to perfect time management. I mean, that's a skill that you hone every single day. But I mean, it's something you're definitely going to get good at if you do classes and an internship. But I mean, that's a lifelong skill. That's essential to build. So, I mean, take the challenge.
I was gonna say that usually internships are very flexible. So let's say if you can only contribute like 20 hours a week or 10 hours a week, they'll work with you.
It's true. It's a good point. They're usually pretty flexible. This is one from Marissa. How many of you used your internship for course credit, and what kind of work did that entail with your program?
I used mine as my program's elective. So basically at UHCL, what they do is you have to do a weekly journal, basically discussing what you did for that week. And also, I believe, an executive summary of one of your big projects. And I believe that was it.
Actually, UHCL offers really great opportunities for healthcare admin. But I'm at UH main campus, and to be very honest, they do not offer as great of opportunities as UHCL does, I think, in terms of healthcare admin. But I'm doing a independent study, and I just meet monthly with my program director and just kind of run her through everything I'm doing, and it's pretty informal.
I don't think I can answer that question because I didn't use course credit for my internship. Let's see, moving on to the next one. Some hospitals in the area have volunteer opportunities. Do you think it would be beneficial to partake in that to build connections for a possible internship?
Yes.
I
Seems
agree. I
good.
think, yeah, absolutely. If there are volunteer opportunities, you build those relationships that can easily turn into an internship.
Those volunteer opportunities, ACHE has events all the time. Go to as many as you possibly can. I've met amazing people at these events. But yeah, and in conjunction with volunteer opportunities, I would definitely prioritize ACHE events.
Definitely seconding the ACHE events. Let's see, here's another one from JT. Is it still wise to intern after graduation?
I think so. It's a valuable, opportunity. You're going to learn more than you did during school because you're actually having a hands-on practice. But yeah, it's still useful.
I'd say so too, just because again, it could turn into a full-time employment opportunity as well. Just as people get to know you, you already know the culture and they already know you. So I think it would be a win-win. Are there any other questions? I think I've come to the bottom of the list. Here we go. Are there opportunities that are international? At least as far as I know, I believe there are. I've seen some international internship postings from like pharmaceutical companies for um, healthcare management type internships. But I don't know anything particularly. I haven't looked too deep into it. How flexible are the hours? Can you intern only during weekends? That's a good question.
Hmm. I'm not sure about weekends just because that's when the administrative office is also closed. They take the weekends off. But I know that, like I said, if you can only dedicate 10 hours a week, they'll allow that.
This is my own experience too. I've seen they do part-time internships where you only make yourself available in the mornings or something like that. And they'll definitely be able to work with you, or afternoons, whatever.
Yeah,
But as far as I've seen, it's always been during the work week because, yeah, you're not going to get a whole lot of admin type folks over the weekend.
yeah. And being upfront about your limitations is always going to be helpful in communication.
Absolutely. Any other questions from anyone? Well, we got everyone on here. A recording of this be available for review? That's a Mark question. Yes, it will be. Good.
Before
All
it's
right.
over, really quickly, I want to
Yep.
say if you have not applied to get a mentor, do it, do it, do it. I have 2 mentors and they are invaluable. Do it, do it, do it. Just want to say that.
That's an excellent plug too. Yeah, lots of mentor opportunities available that can be taken advantage of. All right. Well, I think we will go ahead and, oh, here's one more. Can you request a specific mentor with ACHE?
That's a good question. I'm not sure you can. If you have someone specific in mind, it might be helpful to just reach out to them. We pair them based on like mutual interests. Um, yeah, and like where you want to go. If when you fill out the form, you'll kind of see, and then you'll understand more of what I'm mentioning.
Okay. And last question, one last piece of advice for applying for the spring.
I can go. I think getting your material ready early, just starting on it. I mean, start slow so that you have time, because then you can send it over to your professors, get their feedback, and then do any updates that are needed when the time comes to apply. So just get your material ready and start early.
I think that's an excellent piece. I know a lot of the schools offer writing services that you can show your cover letter and resume to, and they can help you fine tune it before you apply and help give feedback. And I found that to be super helpful as well. Any other final last piece of advice before we wrap things up?
I would say if you're applying for the spring, that means you have the rest of this year to get out there and chat with people. So anytime you see ACHE posting an event, I say go. I mean, you're not going to lose anything but a few hours on the couch, which you can make up on the weekend. So go do it. You have a few months to build those connections. Obviously not from a scarcity mindset, but just from the mindset of getting to know people and learning.
I was going to say exactly that. Put yourself out there.
Very good pieces of advice. All right, so wanted to thank Miss Ingrid, Sonia, and Sophia for joining us today, and thank you, Mark, for taking care of the chat and comments. And thank you, everyone that's here, for taking time out of your evening to chat and visit with us. And we hope this has been a good and edifying experience for everyone, and you were able to learn something. I don't know, Mark, if you have any final words or thoughts for us before we end.
No, like Sophia has mentioned, we have a ton of events this fall. Not all of them are on the website yet, but you can follow that, follow our Instagram, follow the LinkedIn group. Lots and lots of opportunities to network.
Absolutely. All right. Well, again, thank you everyone for coming here this evening, and hope you all have a wonderful weekend. And hopefully we can do this again sometime.
Thank y'all. Have a great weekend.
Have a good
Thank
evening.
you.
Thank
Good
you.
night. Have a good
Bye. Have a
weekend.
great weekend.